Hello and welcome to the Statesmanship project. This is episode 3. I have a new microphone, so we will see how this turns out, what this does for me, if it helps, if it hurts. We will find out. That's what the purpose of this project is for. It's for experimentation. Alright, let's get into it here. We are going to be discussing the equation for program success. This is in regards to a strength training program. There are essentially 5 variables. We have frequency, intensity, duration, and then recovery and adaptation. Recovery and adaptation are considered rest, and then frequency, intensity, and duration, that is the actual exercise part of the equation. So first thing we want to think about is everything is factored in relative to time. So when you exercise, it takes time. And so the more time you spend exercising, the less time you have for recovery. And recovery is what you do after you've stimulated strength training. You rest. You recover from the training, and then you adapt or grow. So this is the purpose of all strength training, is to adapt and grow. And now if we have this relationship between stimulation and rest from that stimulation in perfect balance, your equation will equal 1. Because when your numerator and your denominator are equivalent, you get 1. And that's how we optimize the equation. So if our 3 factors of intensity, frequency, and duration are equivalent to the amount of time necessary to both recover from the training and adapt to the training, we will equal 1. So recovery, we'll talk about this first because I think it is actually more important than intensity, frequency, and duration. We only grow and make progress when we rest. We are adapting to the training. And the first thing that you do after training is recover from the training. You do not grow until after you've recovered. So when you start your training, you are at 100%. And as you train, you eat into that 100%. You're down to 90% or 80%, and it depends on, again, how much intensity, frequency, and duration you're putting into your training. And then wherever you end up, let's say at 90% or 80%, whatever it is, your recovery is getting you back to 100%. Now, if that's all you had to do the next day or the next week or whenever you trained again, you would be able to perform exactly the same amount of training, and you would have exactly the same amount of energy loss, and so you would be back down to, say, 80%. Now, our goal is, of course, to adapt. So adaptation is, once we have recovered, we are back to 100%. Adaptation is an additional 2, 3, 5% improvement, so that the next time we train, we start from a higher level. So our new 100% would be equivalent to 105% the last time. And then we can increase our intensity, frequency, or duration, and/or. And then from that, we would have to recover. And again, if we're at a new 100 and we increase, say, intensity, and we drop down to 80, then we recover from that, and we're back to our 100, and then we adapt to that, and we're up to 105, and then the next time we train, we're at a new 100, but this new 100 is equivalent to 110 when we originally started. That is maybe an abstract concept to try to visualize and understand, but all of these notions are abstract. I will eventually put all of this into writing and put it somewhere so that it makes more sense. And if I can throw up graphics on the video, I will. I don't know if that'll help. Because again, the exercise, the training itself that you see me doing is just kind of filler, because I don't really want you staring at my face while I meander on the microphone. So this is where we're going to start with our equation for evaluating program success is making sure that we understand the concept of rest, because intensity, frequency, and duration will impact how much rest we get. Because if we're not giving ourselves enough rest, instead of starting at 100% or a new 100% that's equivalent to 105%, say, because we've adapted fully, you'll be starting at, say, 90% or 95%, and then you won't be able to go as hard as you went the last time without eating further into your reserves. And eventually, when you start from a deficit, you're going to end up in an even bigger deficit, and you won't be able to recover from that. And the state of constant lack of full recovery is what's called overtraining. And overtraining can lead to injuries. In fact, it often does. So there are other reasons for injuries, including past injuries and poor form, poor technique, and lifting too much weight. All of these things can cause it, but that's another discussion for another day. We're going to leave it here for now because I don't want these videos to be too long. We're a little over the 6-minute mark, and we're going to wrap it up. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, you can like, subscribe, share, or do whatever you want. All right. Well, have a good one. Until next time.